On behalf of my party, I thank the Honorable Finance Minister for his many initiatives in the budget in order to give impetus to economic growth. But at the same time, I think the budget proposals require a lot of executing skills on the part of government to convert them into reality at ground level, and I am sure the government would be ready for such huge display of its executing skills. I would like to touch the following issues mentioned in the budget and offer my comments and suggestions. I regret to note that the budget has ignored the agriculture sector totally. According to the economic survey presented by the Honorable Finance Minister, the agriculture sector growth has declined drastically during last year. As we all know, India cannot achieve the economic growth of 8% without agriculture growth. The same was reiterated by the central government in its last budget, but this budget failed to mention how government of India is going to create enabling ecosystem in the country through which India can achieve a high agriculture growth. The Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi had mentioned time and again in his speeches here and abroad that is government would ensure that all sectors of economy, namely agriculture industry and services, would contribute equally to the GDP growth of the country, so that any setback in one sector would not hurt the economic growth of the country. However, the budget has put all the emphasis on industry and services sector at the neglect of agriculture sector. To me, this is the biggest failure of this, as it is more guided by the philosophy of corporates than the welfare of the rural masses and farmers and sustainability of agriculture. I am at pain to notice that the budget proposals contain closure of many central schemes and pruning of allocation of funds to many central schemes. Though I appreciate the concept of cooperative federalism advocated by government, such a drastic decision without taking state governments into confidence would lead to hardships to marginalized sections of population. I would request the government of India to convene the meeting of all chief ministers to discuss this matter further and arrive at a consensus about its future approach to central schemes, so that states can be prepared for such eventualities. Though the budget promised to keep up the promises made in Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act, it failed to allocate sufficient financial resources for the state specific proposals. All India Institute of Medical Sciences should be set up in Telangana in this financial year itself. Government of Telangana already conveyed its approval to transfer ready-made infrastructure and adequate land to Government of India near Allahabad for this purpose. Similarly, Indian Institute of Management should be set up in Andhra Pradesh without any further delay in the next academic year. Government of Haryana is ready to extend its aid in this regard. Sir, Government of Jharkhand allocated 200 acres of land to Tata Institute of Fundamental Research for setting up their second campus in Hyderabad. But there is inordinate delay in project implementation. I request the central government to review the progress of this project and allocate suitable financial resources so that project commences its academic job from this year itself. I am glad that Finance Minister allocated a substantial fund to infrastructure projects and railways to boost the infrastructure growth. I would humbly request that a part of this allocation should be spent in Telangana state for highway projects and completing pending railway projects. To sum, I appreciate the Honorable Finance Minister for his comprehensive budget proposals and I request him to note my above suggestions. The Finance Minister has presented a broad-based budget focused on accelerating India's inclusive growth. The budget is forward-looking, progressive and practical with a very clear direction and motive. Overall, this budget is wide in its scope and take into account the interest of diverse sections of society, that is middle class, farmers, youth, aged and the disabled. I welcome this budget as it is positive growth oriented and puts forth realistic roadmap to attain sustainable economic growth. The Honorable Finance Minister has delivered a bold, far-sighted budget that will help raise the country's profile as an investment destination. The focuses on infrastructure and housing investment are good as it will kick-start the economy and have a ripple effect across all industries. The Finance Minister understands the need to kick-start infrastructure projects through increased investment, the need to revitalize PPP with the government taking additional risk. It reflects government's focus on increased investment in infrastructure growth and generating skill-based employment. Good infrastructure is a foundation of meaningful and sustainable GDP growth. The thrust on infrastructure in the budget is a welcome step in this direction and signals. Full stop and over.